Okay, right then, here we have another of the great seashore edibles, which is the periwinkle. What it lacks in size, it more than makes up for in the sheer numbers that you find on the coastal areas like this. Now, if you do want to eat them, the best way is to boil them for 5 to 10 minutes at most, and then pluck them out with a thorn or a pin and dip them in some vinegar and some pepper. And they are a great little snack when you have them that way. And here we have probably the easiest food source you can find anywhere on the planet, which is the limpets. So if you're on the coastline and you can't find any other source of food, these little fellas are well worth collecting. And that's another thing, in Britain very few people eat these, but in France they're a popular delicacy. So what we need to do is to sneak up, because they can feel the vibrations as we approach them. So if we sneak up very carefully, we should be able to tap them off the rock, either with our foot or with a small stone, without too much trouble. But if they know you're coming, they're going to clamp down really hard, and they're a nightmare to get off. So this muscular foot here sucks itself to the rock, clamps it down hard, and unlike a lot of the sea creatures that we're looking at around here, these are foragers. So they actually graze on the rocks. So rather than bivalves, which suck in water and get their food from that, what these guys do is roam around on the surface of the rocks, sucking algae and other food sources from that. And then they return back to their original spot for when the tide goes out, and they clamp themselves down and just store enough seawater to keep them going until the tide comes back in again. And it's this muscular foot here that is the good food source, and then you have all the intestines, which are right at the top here, which you need to scrape off as a black blister. Not very appealing at all to look at. So I'm just going to cook these in their shells in the embers right here. A really excellent source of protein, not too bad, but the problem is a lot of people overcook them, so they get really tough and then go, oh, that's like chewing a piece of rubber. So you really only want to cook them very, very gently, and I normally just simmer them in their shell for maybe a couple of minutes, and that gives them just enough cooking to be tender enough to eat. With a limpet, the part that you don't want to eat is this black blister, and what you're left with is a nice chewy piece of meat. And it tastes great, especially with the subtle wood smoke flavour you get from the fire.
Where the wind blows, where the river meets the sea, I'll be waiting for the day when you come back to me.